My name is Robert Crowe from Leading for Purpose, and welcome to our series of governance fundamentals for not-for-profit chairs. Today we're going to be talking about another essential for NFP governance, and that's making sure that you have the right senior team in place. Now, essentially, it isn't your role as a board to be hiring the senior team other than the CEO, but depending on where your organisation is, the type of organisation you are, you could be playing a part in that senior leadership team and making sure that the right people are in place, to meet your purpose and to meet your outcomes as an organisation. So making sure in the senior leadership team that you have good qualified, the best qualified practitioners that you can get and experience, and balancing up that experience with tenure as well. So you want to make sure you've got the right people in place and also retaining that corporate culture. Of course, one of your key roles as a board is to hire the best CEO that you can get, and making sure that you are matching that CEO to not only your current needs but also aspiring needs and strategic needs as well. Depending on what's happening in the organisation itself, within the sector, you might have a CEO that's there to consolidate the organisation. You might have one there that's got a strategic outlook, one there that's good from a financial position, or one that's good from a client or a benefactor position. So it depends on where you are as an organisation and what you're trying to achieve as well. But you need to balance that out. And you need to be reviewing who's in that role, over a period of time, every 3 to 4 years, whether you need to, have a change of CEO with your change of direction, etc. Your senior leadership team needs to demonstrate, but also embody culture from the organisation. Culture is a big part of and a big talking point at the moment, especially from a board's point of view. So you need to make sure that the culture that you want to set and the culture that you are setting is actually being driven down through the organisation, and that bad culture isn't being cultivated within the organisation itself. So that's talked about board members being involved in the organisation. You need to make sure that you're taking a part, and so you can understand some of those cultural things as well. Strong leadership needs to be demonstrated from the senior team to the organisation. Leadership isn't just about the practicality of what you're doing as a product or service or your activities, but it's also, about professional development. It's also about developing the team. It's also about managing through a crisis, emotional intelligence. All of those things come into the leadership mix when you're looking at the senior team. You also want the senior team to be working together as a cohesive team. So you should be looking out for some of those signs of fractions in the senior team, whether people are going off and forming their own little groups or whether there's wide discord. And really, you should be asking the CEO to be able to manage that as well. But you should be looking out from that point of view, because that can really have a big impact on the effectiveness of the organisation in what you're trying to do and your purpose. Making sure that their roles are defined, especially the CEO's role, and understood, and the senior leadership team's role is understood. You may not have day-to-day involvement in that, but you might make sure that there's key contracts in place, etc. Making sure that reporting and information coming up to the board is timely, is accurate. One of my red flags that I say to people can be that if there's lack of information, if things are dragging, if you're not getting the right type of information up to the board in a timely manner, could flag that there are other issues going on in the organisation as well. So make sure that the senior team understands that you need the information, and you need information, broad aspects, and you could have some, interesting requests, but you need them as a board to make decisions and to look into the future. So there needs to be mutual trust there that the information that you're asking for is about governance. The information that you're asking for is about setting strategy, etc. And it's not just looking at the minutiae of what the senior leadership teams are doing as well. So you need to work closely from that point of view. You need to have succession planning in place for those key roles. If you've got specific key roles within your organisation at the senior level, they may not be reporting to the board, but they might be critical to you, realising your purpose or delivering your services or your products. Then you need to make sure that those plans are in place and you're working with the CEO to make sure that is happening. So there's some key tips around your senior leadership team. Although you may not be involved on a day-to-day basis, you need to take an interest in it as a board and make sure that they are working as best they can for the purpose of the organisation. So I hope you've enjoyed these helpful tips for your NFP board, or if you're a chair, in your role as a chair, and look forward to seeing you again in our Fundamentals series.